Season 6 of Clarkson's farm is already in crisis. Not almost. Right now. While cameras were supposed to be rolling, the show's own social media confirmed a full production shutdown, a second wave of bovine tuberculosis, and weeks of rainfall so severe the crew couldn't film. Underneath it sits a number Clarkson said out loud himself. Without Amazon Prime Video, Diddley Squat Farm would not have survived 2025. Those aren't our words. They're his. So today we're going past the headlines, past the cancer remission story, into the actual numbers. What happens to everything Clarkson built if Season 6 fails? Here's the line most people scrolled past. Last month's headlines fixed on the cancer remission. Genuinely brilliant news. But buried in that same coverage was something bigger. Clarkson said plainly that without the television money, his farm would not have survived last year. 1,000 acres. A farm shop drawing tourists nationwide. A brewery producing Hawkstone. A pub called the Farmer's Dog. And what actually kept it alive was Amazon writing him a check. He posted it himself. Most farms don't have TV shows to keep them going. He wasn't joking. To understand why Season 6 is in this state, you need to understand the 12 months before filming even started. The year began with what Clarkson called the worst harvest he'd ever seen. Heat waves, then drought. His words, shocking. For a 1,000-acre operation, that's potentially hundreds of thousands of pounds gone in a single season. Then relentless autumn rain, delaying replanting, damaging soil across the whole farm. Then bovine TB. July 31st, 2025, Clarkson posted it directly. Bad news from Diddley Squat. Everyone here is absolutely devastated. Here's what that actually means financially. The moment a farm tests positive, the Animal and Plant Health Agency locks it down completely. No cattle bought, no cattle sold. Not one animal moves until the herd tests clean. At Diddley Squat, that lockdown ran 2 months. 2 months of zero cattle sales. 2 months of full feed and care costs continuing regardless. And it got worse. The cow that tested positive, Pepper, an animal viewers had watched grow up on television, was pregnant with twins, legally required to be culled. Her calves went with her. The bull, Endgame, bought for £5,500, came back inconclusive. Not safe. Just suspended, retested, watched. For a farmer, inconclusive is almost worse than positive. Add it together. A failed harvest across 1,000 acres. A 2-month total cattle lockdown. Beloved animals culled. An expensive bull in quarantine. Hawkstone providing some cushion, but a brewery cannot replace a farm's full income. The pub had only opened in August 2024, still finding its footing. And underneath all of it, Clarkson's own health. Diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer during filming of Season 5. Surgery. Complications serious enough to put him back in hospital. Filming interrupted. A crew shooting 2 to 3 days a week, every week, for 5 straight years, without proper rest. One man running a struggling farm, a new pub, a brewery, 3 weekly newspaper columns, and a television series, while going through cancer treatment. And now they're trying to film Season 6. Here's where it gets genuinely serious. The Season 6 confirmation came in April 2026. Buried inside it, almost as an afterthought. Filming has already faced a few hurdles, including a break from production, positive TB testing, and relentless rain earlier this year. Season 6 hadn't aired a single episode, and it had already survived 3 separate production crises. A full break from filming. TB testing positive again, meaning the disease that devastated 2025 has returned in 2026, and months of rain severe enough to physically stop filming. You can't fake bad weather for a show built on real, unscripted farming. You can't reschedule a TB lockdown. When the farm goes into lockdown, the show goes into lockdown, production costs still ticking, no footage to show for it. Here's the bigger picture, because this isn't a story about one farm having a rough year. Clarkson isn't a typical farmer. He has a television career behind him. Hawkstone revenue. A farm shop pulling tourists year-round. A pub. Newspaper columns paying weekly. More financial cushioning than 99% of British farmers will ever have. And even with all of that, he's telling you the Amazon money is what kept the farm alive. If a man with Clarkson's resources is saying the television show is the actual lifeline, what does that tell you about the thousands of farms across Britain without any of those advantages? British farming right now is in genuine crisis. Not a manufactured television storyline. A real grinding financial emergency, happening on farms across this country every single day, most of which don't have Amazon coming to write a check. But here's what Clarkson's critics consistently miss. The man does not quit. When the council blocked his farm shop, he fought them for 2 years and won. When Amazon ended the Grand Tour, he built an entirely new television operation out of a muddy Oxfordshire field. When the harvest failed, he kept the cameras rolling. When he was diagnosed with cancer, he had surgery and came back filming. In the final episode of season 5, in a hospital bed before his operation, he looked at the camera and said, "If all goes well, I'll see you for season 6. And if it doesn't, I won't. Take care, everyone." That's not a man looking for sympathy. That's a man telling you exactly how much he intends to protect what he built. He came through. The cancer is in remission. He called himself, without a doubt, officially the world's luckiest man. Season 6 is confirmed for summer 2027. Later than usual, the show typically lands in May or June. The delay comes directly from everything stacked against it. The production break, the TB halt, the rain, 5 years of crew exhaustion with no proper rest. What season 6 will actually document has no real equivalent anywhere else in British television. A farm fighting a live TB crisis. An owner returning to work after cancer treatment. An operation that is, by its own owner's admission, financially dependent on the cameras staying on. That's not entertainment. That's a documentary about the real state of British farming, told through the most famous farm in the country. So here's the real question. Diddley Squat's shop will keep trading regardless. Hawkstone will keep selling. The pub will keep serving. But the show is the engine pulling hundreds of thousands of visitors to a farm shop in Chipping Norton that would otherwise, by any reasonable measure, be too remote to draw that kind of footfall. Without the show, the shop goes back to being a local farm shop. Without the show, Hawkstone loses its most powerful marketing platform on earth. Without the show, the pub loses the audience that makes people drive out of their way to a country pub in Oxfordshire. The entire empire Clarkson and Lisa Hogan built runs, in significant part, on the gravitational pull of one television series. And season 6 is the most important season they've ever made. Tell us what you think in the comments. Can Clarkson's farm survive whatever comes next?